they started out their comment with, college for me was really just a social experiment. Their goal in life, and they ended up there even without their college degree. Hola amigos, welcome to today's video. Guys, I haven't done a sit down video for a long time. I'm not sitting down, I'm standing up, but I haven't done a DSLR, like using my DSLR for such a long time, so this feels very like professional even though it's just YouTube. But anyways, quick summary, I went on Reddit yesterday, posted a question asking what's your current job and what's your major in college, parenthesis if you went, because basically I'm just super curious hearing other people's stories, like how did their life like pan out, like after college. Did they actually, you know, use their degree? Did it actually help them, or did they just like become bums, or like what happened to them? Because you always hear stories of people like Mark Zuckerberg, whatever his name is, father of Facebook, who says like, oh, college does not matter, and then there's other people who are like, yes, college matters or you will die. That's what all Asian parents say.
If you don't go to college, you will end up a bum.
105 people ended up commenting, and then there were added more. Now there's almost like 200 comments on there. Each story is so unique, and I don't know. Okay, let's just start. I will put the whole story here, but I'm not going to read the whole thing because some of them wrote like full-on novels. So, you know, you can pause the video, read it. They did go to college, so they graduated. They got a Bachelor's of Science in Animal and Poultry Sciences. But then, did they use it? So they ended up as a project manager for a remodel and renovation construction company. That's like a huge difference. Like that does not even connect. When he got the job, they basically just wanted somebody who had experience in management, and they didn't care if it was in construction or anything. So basically they just wanted somebody with an experience in management. You could get that without a degree. So she or he did not even end up using their degree, but in a way kind of helped because of the way she started up. They got a job in industry as a flock supervisor, and so I guess she got a bit of experience there. So it did help out in the end. Got a bachelor's in environmental science. And did they use the degree? They ended up as a production specialist in a sign shop. And this is another one. This one really, I really love this one because the shop did not even care about their degree, but they did like that they had previous experience and a bit of freelance graphic design experience, because at the sign shop she does everything, or he like manufacturing the signs and then installations, graphic design, things like that. But it's like far from her degree with environmental science. So one thing that really helped her or he was that they were procrastinating on Reddit. And when they were procrastinating on Reddit, they found this subreddit called Photos Battles, and more doors opened up for her on Reddit than like from other experiences. And that's how she gained experience. So even if you do it online, like especially now everything is online, it still counts as experience. I want to get into the graphic design multimedia world, and to see that this person got a bachelor's but not in graphic design, still ended up in the graphic design world. Very good for us who want to become graphic designers but might not be able to, you know, get a bachelor's in it. So they got a bachelor's in science in physics materials. Okay, that sounds very important. Like that sounds like, oh, you will get like, if you're an Asian parent, you will like that degree. You'll be, yes, that will get you a job. You will become a millionaire. But they're unemployed. So here's like one who went to college, got a degree in a really good degree, but then ended up unemployed. So so strange, but when the degree matches up to their jobs, this is just from my Reddit research, guys, okay? This is not like the official research from the whole world and everything. When their degree matches to their future job, they end up unemployed. Like, this has happened so many, you will hear it, like, it keeps on happening. They are unemployed when they match their degree to their job, because they're so, like, oh, obviously I don't know them, but many of them say they're so focused on getting a job in their degree that they won't, like, say yes to other jobs. Sometimes it's good to just start from the bottom and work your way up, then just try to reach for the top straight away, because mother, if you're so stubborn on just doing what your degree is, you might end up unemployed, sadly. That sounds so mean. Degree in dental assisting. Here's another one that sounds very like, wow, dental assisting sounds like you will get money, you know, at least in my brain, because it's in the medical field. They became a waitress, which is not bad. This one, it depends on where you work.
Dental tech, right?
No, dental assisting. So you will be the assistant of the dentist.
Oh, yeah, dentists can do that now.
Yeah, dentists can do that now, but still in my brain, I'm thinking like, oh, dental. That sounds like a good degree.
In the old days, they needed.
Yeah. So, but they became a waitress, which did end up being good because their tips are so high, she or he said. If I got a job in my field, then I'd be losing money every day I work, because that's how high their tips are. So I guess if you do get a job like in the waitressing world and your tips are great, then, you know, why not? You know, if you're happy, doesn't really matter, really, you know. Did not end up graduating college. They went to college for Geographic info systems, which another one that it sounds so fancy to me, I don't know, but they ended up dropping out. But guys, listen to this one. This one is really interesting. They became an accountant, a bartender, a system administration, a system engineer, and then a sales role. I just think that's so interesting. Like, they dropped out, but they did so many things and ended up getting so many jobs, and then in the end, now they work for like a corporate position supporting sales in Fortune 300 company, and now transitioned into sales role, which is their end goal. So that was like their goal in life, and they ended up there even without their college degree. This obviously depends, but sometimes when the other people who drop out end up like, it's almost as if they want to prove something, and they end up working like 10 times as harder because they have to, like, they feel like they have to prove something, you know. Like the other people who graduate, they're like, oh yeah, I'm set for life now, but you know, you still have to do the work. But I just thought that was interesting. And then they wrote this cute quote. They said, "Don't let perceived limitations hold you back." Ooh, I wrote that down. I like that one. So that's one who did not go to college, end up successful, very good. Next one is a college graduate though, in creative writing, a bachelor's in creative writing. Sounds very, you know, artsy, but then I'm thinking, oh no, once it's artsy, it's not good. And when it comes to money, like, not always, but it's usually hard getting into the art world. But they became a recruiter and ended up loving their job. They still ended up happy. So why not, you know, recruiter? What do you do there? You find jobs for other people. I think that's the one. Yeah, even though their degrees did not match. Like, I'm telling you guys, everyone who ended up successful in here, their degrees did not match up to their current job. That's like, what? They started out their comment with, college for me was really just a social experiment. It sounds so like, I don't know, like a teenager wrote this. Basically, they got a business degree because he or she was too lazy to specialize in much and had little motivation, they said. But in the end, guys, read what they wrote, because this is another interesting story. But they ended up becoming a DevOps manager, which I have no idea what DevOps is. What is that? I don't understand. But basically, does not require a degree. They just got the job due to, like, they knew a friend. They had a friend who knew a friend, and the friend knew the boss, and you know, connections, so that's how they got in. And that's another huge one. Like most people I've read got their jobs through networking and then contacts, because obviously if the boss, they have employees who know other people, obviously they want somebody like within, so they know somebody knows them, and then they know them, and then they know them, and then it makes more sense, you know. It's good when you know lots of people. So that's the hard thing when you're antisocial, because you don't have any people to ask. Huge success, because I mean, they work at Big Four accounting firm and they don't need a degree for it. I'm like, accounting? That sounds like you need a degree, but I guess you don't. It took like 7 years. So they didn't just suddenly become a manager there. It took a long time, so they had to like learn, and lots of people also give them like courses they have to go through while working, because they like the person, but they're like, oh, you don't know that much yet, so I will give you information, and then they learn fast, go up the ladder, which I think it's really cool. I love stories like this. Everyone, like, they had such cute quotes. Anyways, one said, you can learn whatever you want and do whatever you want outside of college. College graduate, a degree in business management. When I heard business management, I was thinking that sounds cool, but also sounds very normal. Like, so many people go to business, so I'm like, I wonder if they got a job, because that's a bit of a broad. Yeah, they also said it's a pretty generic degree, and so that didn't help this person at all. They said they basically got in as a client education specialist for an SaaS company. No idea what that is. Sounds very cool because they became a specialist, so it sounds like fancy, but I have no idea if this one is a successful one, because I have no idea what that is. But you know, they sound happy. Some people go and just like get a bachelor's of business, and that's so broad. So it's something they all said, like most of them said this: if you're going to go to college for communications, a lot of people roll their eyes when you hear communications. Communications and like business, things that are so broad, it's best to like specialize in something within that. I mean, some people were able to do it still. I guess it depends on the person too, but that's just their opinions. Oh, this one is really cool. So they went to college for political science. So for me, I was like, oh, how are you going to use that? I don't know. Unless you have to go into politics, the politics world, which I don't know how you get in there. Like, do you work for the president? I don't know. This was so confusing when I read it. I had to Google it, but they ended up as a charter analyst for NFL, isn't that football? And MLB, not sure what that is. But they got the job through an HR contact. No bowel symptom. IBM. But they got a job through an HR contact at a startup they worked for after college at happy hour. So I guess kind of used it in a way. I think they didn't use it to work in the political world, but it did kind of help out though in the end. I feel like this one is a huge success. Like working for the NFL, you know, that's money. That means when you hear NFL, you know, money. Even the janitor for the NFL is probably like a millionaire. And the funny thing is, there were like 3 people or more writing about going to political science. A lot of people got into politics the last like few years. I'm not gonna comment why, everyone knows why, but everyone got into politics and majored in political science. I don't know if they wanted to become the next president or whatever, but lots of people did do that. And one person wrote they did bachelor's in political science and then is now working at a political consulting firm, and they got a job from a family member who did freelance work for them. So I guess going to school for political science is good, but then there's also one who wrote, I'm a cashier at a dollar store and I got a bachelor's in political science and minor in economics, but they did only graduate last year, which was pandemic year and still is a pandemic year. So we can't really judge the ones who graduated last year, I feel like, because the job hunt it's sad reading all of these, like how many lost their jobs, how many couldn't find a job after college. Heartbreaking. Went to college, got a degree in sociology, and I was like, what is that? bimbo moment. But then I found out it's like people, you know, learning about people, right? Small info about sociology. You can probably find more info on Google.
Used in ads, how people react.
How
For
people
example,
react.
when they go in stores and they smell vanilla, they usually get hungrier.
It
and
helps
they
if you
buy
go,
more.
so you can go into ads, like learn.
Many sociologists are in ads. Or
Anyways, they became a compliance for hospitals, and I'm like, what's compliance for hospitals? But that's not a stupid question. Lots of people were asking, what the heck's that? Compliance for hospitals? I will write it here, but anyways, they got a job after college, after applying everywhere. Bachelor in Art History. They originally went to school for pre-med psychology, but graduated in art history. They switched it. I don't know why. They didn't like it, so they switched it anyways. But then they ended up working in museums because of, you know, they have an art history bachelor's, so they were able to get into the museum world, which makes sense. But then, guys, now they're a UX researcher, and they said ironically a degree in psychology would have been better for UX. UX, guys, is something I've actually been very interested in, because since I got to know a girl in Shargao, she's from Denmark, and she's a UX designer, and basically what that is it's basically this, like my iPad, like what you can see, the things you can click, things like that, like everything when you go on your phone, all of that, it's just UI UX design world. And she makes, like, I don't know, designs like apps and stuff, and I thought that's so interesting. But if you're a UX researcher, that's when you really need psychology for that, because you need to figure out like how people use the app, like how will that help, like the way they design it has to be able to make sense for everyone, whether you're old, you're young. Like when you go on Twitter, like even if somebody who does not know anything about technology, they should understand like where should I click to be able to tweet. Like it should be easy for them. They get lots of money and it's also a great degree because it's in the graphic design kind of world. So I would not mind getting into that, especially since I love stalking on people and learning about like what works for people. They got a master's in criminal justice. When I read this, I was like, wow, criminal justice, that sounds like CSI Miami. I was so excited to see what happened with this person. And they even got a concentration in police administration and law and procedure and advanced certification in race and criminal justice. You know where they ended up, guys? You know? Instacart. Doesn't mean they didn't end up successful. Obviously that depends on, you know, if you like it or not, but they did not seem to like it, guys. The way I like rank these are, they are successful if they're happy and, you know, are able to support themselves. That's how I like mark these, because, you know, I don't find you're successful really if you have tons of money and then you're depressed. Like what's that? That's not the life. Did not go to college at all, but became a part order desk agent at a healthcare company and got their job due to a family friend. So this one got the job in the healthcare world without a degree. And honestly, guys, I've read so many of these where they got jobs at hospitals, good paying jobs. So even just as an admin, as I even read like people who are just like secretaries somehow get really high money because it's in the medical world, even though they have no degrees. That's amazing, because some people can't go to college, so the fact that there's still hope, that's good. Went to college, computer science, can't even get a response back from my applications. They said computer science, by the way, usually when you go to college for computer science, you will get a job like straight away. The people are like waiting for you to graduate because that's a really good degree. But I guess there's still not a bulletproof degree, I guess, because some people still don't get jobs in it. I guess it's also about luck sometimes, like where you live. Maybe they don't live in a place where there's computer science work, but usually there's online computer science work. So I'm not sure what happened with that person. So inspiring when I read this one. Got a degree in social work and ended up as a case manager at the Pharma Hub. They explained what that was because I could not understand what that was. And they are basically she said drug companies basically pay us, I said basically too much, pay us to run programs for their drugs like co-pay assistance, benefit verification, help with claim appeals, stuff like that. This one was so sad to me because my mom is a social worker, and social work is not just like a whatever degree. Like, it takes so much brain power to understand all of that. And so it's just sad when they said this, when I read this, because they said when they got out of college it was so hard for them to apply for jobs because they were seeing listings requiring a social work degree and a 2 years experience, and they would only be paying $12 per hour for a social worker. That's evil.
That's only in the States.
Yeah, this is in the States though, guys, and that's evil, I feel like. And they said like it's sickening.
In Denmark, it's $20 per hour.
Yeah, if you, and I told this person, go to Denmark instead.
Or even Sweden.
But this person ended up happy anyways as a case manager, so they have a good job now, so they don't have to like worry about that, so that's good. But this person did not match their degree to their current job, so you know, but they still ended up successful. It's just sad that that's what happens, like with so many people who graduate with social work in the US end up with such a low paying job. Makes no sense because they are so needed. And I'm like, what? It's a dangerous job, guys. So I don't understand. They should be paid way more. They are happy they got their degree though, because for their job they really just needed a degree, like in anything. So you know, that's something I see all over the place. You just need a degree. It doesn't matter what. You could get a degree in Klingon. I don't know if that's true though. You could get, the one person did say something in the similar lines. They used another job example though, but another degree example, but they basically said you could get a degree in Klingon and get a job because of it, because they just see you have bachelors, and then they're just happy with that. They don't care what that degree is, even though it's in Klingon. They have a MFA in photography. What's MFA?
Oh, football.
That's NFL, but became a janitor. Photography is another tricky one to go to college for, because photography is something you can become a photographer without a degree. 100%. You just need the talent, or you just need to learn it. So for me, I wouldn't say go to college for photography, but obviously this depends. It depends on you. You do you. You know, but I wouldn't recommend it because so many people say the same thing. It costs a lot to go to college for photography because you need to buy all of these different things like cameras, editing systems, and then in the end might not help you, you know. But what I did tell this one person, I said, why not get into wedding photography, because usually that's a really easy job to get if you want to become a photographer as a stepping stone. But the problem is, like, this person told me they don't want to. With photography, like, usually you have to start with small things like wedding photography, but you know, wedding photography, that it pays well. I thought about photography before and I was like, I'm open to it. Wedding photography, you're behind the camera, you don't really talk to the people, and you're supposed to be invisible, so they don't really care about you, you know. They just want their photos to be taken. So even if you're an introvert, like this one person said, I'm an introvert, I'm scared, I don't want to do it, you're behind the camera, you're not the star, so it doesn't really matter, you know. They don't look at you, they look at the lens. It just looks like they look at you. The way they wrote this is so funny. They said, unemployed Bachelor of Science in History. It sounded like they got an unemployed degree in Bachelors of Science in History. That made me laugh. Shouldn't probably have made me laugh. Got a psych degree. And I'm not sure what they did in the end. They didn't write if they became successful or not, or what job they got. So, you know, psych degrees, you don't even know. Some people like become super successful, some people don't. So I have no idea, but the reason why I mention them is because they said this: having a bachelor's degree is useful for getting your foot in the door, but it certainly doesn't dictate your future, which is basically the answer to this whole video. So that's like, I feel like that's a good summary answer of all of this. Having a bachelor's degree will help you, but it doesn't mean you'll become successful in the end, you know. I guess that's the answer to this video. So tell me down below, what do you think about all of these amazing people? And soon we'll go to the America, so make sure to stay tuned for that, because that would be very interesting. I haven't been to the US for a year, so it will be cool. Look down below and subscribe, guys, to this channel. Follow my social medias at Instagram, especially AriaABFNV011. And yeah, thanks for watching. Gracias por ver, and I'll see you the next time. Adios, amigos.